Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sixth episode of the Boss Key Podcast. I am your host, McQuack306. I'm joined today, as always, with Jesse. Jesse, say hello again.
Welcome, as always, everybody. Welcome again to the new episode of the Boss Key Podcast, episode 6.
Yeah, so kind of what we alluded to last week, what we were going to talk about today. Basically, almost all things PlayStation, with the PlayStation 5 showcase that happened this past Thursday. 45 minutes of trailers and upcoming events and upcoming games and things to look forward to, things that we've already known but just needed to see a little bit more gameplay.
Yes, I agree with needed some more gameplay. I know some things were like in early status mode, but we definitely needed more gameplay on a lot of these, or at least some kind of gameplay.
Yeah, but for now, I mean, for the time being, what we can't talk about is actual games that we have been playing. Actually, actual live gameplay. And
yes,
for me
at
this week,
go ahead, man. What are you playing?
For this week, it's still Destiny 2 on the side. I just played probably about, I want to say 5-6 hours last night until
Nice.
1 o'clock in the morning playing Destiny 2, the Vault of Glass raid. It was the first time that I really try to complete it. Every single time we play, we get halfway or something like that, and it gets too late. But we actually had a really good team last night, and we got up to the final boss. So hopefully that's gonna be completed tonight. And on the side, just recently released, which was Tales of Arise, a JRPG that a series I've never played. I've never played a Tales game, but I kept hearing the good things about it. The combat, I played some of the demo a couple weeks ago, and I really liked it. It has like this cell shaded art style to it.
That's so beautiful. That's such a good art style. I'd love that.
It keeps it timeless in my eyes. It's hard to age something that's almost, it's not complete cell shaded, but it has this weird like cell shaded Borderlands anime art style. But I'm really liking it. Like the moves, even the moves are all flashy and really cool to look at, and even to execute. It's very easy. It's just a button press. Once it's ready to activate. I've only played about maybe an hour and a half. Story, typical JRPG protagonist. Has amnesia, doesn't know who he is, his name, where he comes from.
Blank slate all over again.
Yeah, typical. And I'm like, okay, it'll be this anime trope, but I'm all for it. I like it. You meet some chick that she can't, if you touch her, if you try to grab her, she like electrocutes you. But
Okay.
this guy can't feel pain, so it's like that, duality. The whole like, okay, I can see where this may be going. I don't know if they're sister and brother. I don't know if they're somehow tied together, but they have that cohesiveness. But so far, an hour and a half. It's really good. Easy to understand storyline. Easy combat, and it actually makes me want to try out the other Tales games. I've never heard of, played them. I've heard of them. The Tales and Symphonia and Tales of Fantasia, all these Tales games. But really loving the combat, really loving the art style, and has voice acting. So that's really good on the ears too. But that's what I'm playing. What are you playing, Jesse?
Wait, the Tales and Symphonia was an Dreamcast game before, right?
Yeah, I think it was on Dreamcast and GameCube, and then it got ported to PS3.
Oh, there you go. So that's one of those that got moved around after. Oh, I love the Dreamcast. Oh, just 2 days ago, 1999, November 9th, the 99999 days. That's when the Dreamcast came out.
Yeah, anniversary.
Hey, whoo, man. That was a great console that I had back then, and I bought it at a Fry's, which is also a company that's also gone right now. But I bought it at a Fry's back in the day.
Rip.
Rip Fry's. But right now, what I'm actually playing is, since we actually started talking about PlayStation last week before anything began, I've got my PS4 back in and continued some more of the Crash Bandicoot action, trying to continue Crash 2, trying to beat that one finally.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, Crash Bandicoot. So again, it's I don't know if it was easier back then as a kid, or I just can't tolerate mistakes now. It's different. We'll see. But also, I've actually been throwing in some Yu-Gi-Oh into the mix.
Oh, the digital or actual cards?
No, digital.
Okay.
I've been playing the digital one.
Sometimes I actually throw in some Yu-Gi-Oh in there, and right now it is. Oh my goodness, I don't know why the name escapes me right now. It's the game that used to be, or that is on the GameCube as well.
Tournament of or Duelist of Roses?
No, that was the PS2 one, the Rose one. I remember that because of the box art.
Yeah.
I remember that, but oh my goodness, why does the name escape me right now? But I've been playing the Yu-Gi-Oh PC game right now. I remember Forbidden Memories back then.
Duelist of the Roses. I just saw that right now.
The Falsebound Kingdom?
Oh no, that's the PlayStation game. I remember that one too. But that's the PlayStation game, which is also one that I played before. Not Duel Links, but excuse me, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the current game I'm playing right now. So
I have that one.
you have that one on PC, right?
No, I don't touch.
Oh, that's right. No PC. Yeah, that's right. You have it on the Switch?
I have it on the Switch, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I already beat out the whole first Yu-Gi-Oh season deck. I already the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh. I did the second season of Yu-Gi-Oh, the GX. Excuse me, first series of Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I did the second series of Yu-Gi-Oh, the GX. And right now I'm on the 5Ds with the synchro summonings.
Oh, and do you play them like to 100%? Like you go through the first season like as like how the story went, and then you flip it through the other side. Like you'll play as Kaiba the second round instead of
Yes.
I love that.
You absolutely can do that. So you play the duel first as it was, and it gives you that awesome option of selecting if you want to play the story deck, like what actually happened, and the deck or you can use your own personal deck if you want against them. So you can play it just like maybe it's not just like the anime, but like the anime.
Yeah.
Or you can play with your own deck. And right now with the synchro summonings, oh my goodness! Like, spoiler alert. Do you remember watching the first Yu-Gi-Oh series back then as a kid?
Yeah, I saw like the first, I think, up to GX. I saw.
Okay, you know that duelist that has the Exodia deck that Yugi beats?
Yeah.
The one who has like the multiple copies of Exodia, right?
Yeah, that they were like fakes.
Yeah. No, they weren't fakes, but he beat. It was a rare hunter.
Yeah.
And then he beat Joey for his red eyes, and then Yugi wanted to win the red eyes back at the Battle City tournament.
Yeah, and then he did win it back, and
he did win it back. Oh my god! In the Yu-Gi-Oh game, fighting a duelist with multiple Exodias sucks.
Because they have all these cards, right? Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed.
Yeah, and then every single time I'm sweating because I think he's gonna get it right now, and he could. Or sometimes he'll get it on his first hand. Oh, he wins. I was like, dude, that I stayed on that one for so long. That was the worst. I raged so hard on a couple times. But I'm already way past that, thank goodness. So that's done. But But that is what I'm currently jumped back into again. Jump back into again because
real
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is
quick,
always fun to jump into.
real quick too. I need to know. Do you have a specific like archetype or deck that you like to use, or like you always want to build?
Oh my goodness, the Elemental Hero decks.
Okay, cool.
That is. There's always the Dark Magician archetype. There's the Blue Eyes archetype, the Red Eyes archetype, Archfiend, Dragon Rulers. But the E heroes, well, because again, I'm a big superhero lover of DC and Marvel characters, so the E heroes just worked with me. That's actually my favorite protagonist, Jaden from GX.
Okay. Well, the elemental heroes always remind me of my little brother, and we would always play
Wow.
Yu-Gi-Oh, and he always had the elemental heroes, and he was always excited, to summon Avion and Bubbleman,
Ooh!
and just use their stuff. But even though I would just wreck them with my Red Eyes deck, and
Oh, why Red Eyes deck? You beating him? You snacking him?
but elemental heroes always reminds me of my brother, and I always make a deck for the elemental heroes because of him. But for me,
Nice.
I always stick with Red Eyes. Joey was always my favorite character, right next to Merrick, and
Oh, next to Merrick?
yeah, right next to Merrick. Like I feel like I like Kaiba a lot, but then Merrick came, and I'm like, okay, this dude just knows how. He's so theatrical. I like it.
Yeah.
So I always
Dude,
go
he's
for the Red Eyes, and then the second deck is the Gravekeepers.
nice. Dude, I'm sorry. I love all those characters you just said, but I'm a Kaiba man myself. Dude, his lines on the show are just the best. It's like Kaiba can't get him out of my head, and of course he has the best deck, but he has to try to beat Yugi at every moment, but he's the one opponent he can't beat. But then he calls himself the best, but like, no, technically you're not the best because you don't really beat Yugi. But Kaiba's just the quintessential like badass of the series. He just gets that. No, but I understand your reason why you like Merrick because Merrick was a boss trope right there back then, especially when it became Yami Merrick.
Yes. Well, I could
Back
talk
in the day.
about Yu-Gi-Oh all day, dude, but
True. Let's save that for another
we'll
one.
save that for another podcast.
Yep,
But
I'm in.
one thing that I do want to talk about, which is the main focus of this episode, is the
Right.
PlayStation showcase, the PlayStation 5 specifically showcase that happened this week, this past Thursday. A lot of announcements, a lot of new games that
Most
got
def-
announced,
Mhm.
revealed, shown off, everything that you can
Mhm.
think of, re-shown in the likes of GTA 5. But
Again, we have another version of GTA 5 again. So if you've been living under a rock this whole time, Rockstar wants you to know there's a GTA 5 coming out for PS5. And let me tell you, I had this when it was on the 360. This is not new. This game is not new, but they're treating it as like new graphics and new everything. No, it's not. It's just upscale. It's just upscale to match the PS5 graphic halt. Where's my GTA 6 already? They're just stop milking this cow of GTA 5.
So we'll go off of that one first. Yeah, they announced GTA 5, or not really announced. They just showed off, but it looks the same. It looks the
It's
same
same.
as the PS4 version. So they didn't really go into detail on the trailer, like enhanced graphics, like here's 4K rendering, 60 frames per second,
Nope.
drawn distance increased, LOD. No, they didn't go. They just showed a couple scenes that we've already seen before, and then GTA
course.
Online,
Missions
which
we've done
is-
already.
yeah.
Like all that.
GTA Online, which is like, I guess, really their main moneymaker. It's the reason why we haven't, like Jesse stated, we haven't seen Grand Theft Auto 6 because everybody's just, I guess, paying and playing GTA Online, and there's no reason for Rockstar to push something new if they're still, milking this
Yeah.
big cow.
This this huge bovine known as GTA 5. Just it's just there, it's just there to keep the money flowing. Okay, I believe it last year. Get this, like over $1 billion made from GTA 5 and online.
I believe it.
$1 billion. So yeah, I don't blame them for not wanting to release it right away. We can release it in 2030. We don't care. It doesn't matter.
But you know what? I'm kind of happy that even if they put this segment in, it was just a short segment, and this is probably my least favorite of what they announced. Everything
True.
else I feel like is a positive. Everything else is an add-on, like
Yes.
adding on to this platform. But this announcement, yeah, get it out. 1 minute trailer. Okay, cool, it's coming. Yeah, whatever. Uh, the
Yeah, just letting you know it's coming. It's coming on consoles. It's coming here. But the other thing that I love. So let's just like go from the beginning right here. First thing they throw into your face at this showcase: Knights of the
Yes.
Old Republic remake.
So I never played this game. I've never played the original. Have you?
No, I have not either. It was an Xbox exclusive at the time, right?
Yeah, it was, and
It
I don't know.
was.
I don't know if it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on PC though, and I think they've ported it to mobile, if I'm not mistaken.
But
Um,
people have talked big on this
Yeah.
game. The people have stories about like one of the best Star Wars games here. Besides everything else that was released, this is the top dog RPG of Star Wars that they love, and it is coming out in a remake and PS5 exclusive. Am I correct there?
Semi. So the way they talk with this exclusivity is that they said that this is a console exclusive at launch and will release also on PC.
Oh,
I don't know how
okay.
long it takes for them to put it on PC. I don't
Mhm.
know if it's gonna come out on Xbox. The way I see it and the way I've read about it is
Mhm.
that uh, PlayStation or Sony Interactive Entertainment is
Mhm.
actually publishing and working with Aspire is a studio. They're working closely with Aspire to publish this game, and typically they don't release games that are published, by PlayStation, except for those rare occurrences like MLB The Show, which is now on Xbox. But they
Mhm.
really don't go to other platforms.
Okay.
So I
So
don't
this.
know. I don't know if it'll come to Xbox, and if it does, I don't know when, because other exclusives like Final Fantasy VII was supposed to only be a 1 year exclusive, and that ended in April of this year, and Final Fantasy VII Remake is still not on Xbox or
Yeesh.
PC. So PlayStation really, one, they surprised everybody, because
Mhm.
if Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was ever going to be announced, I thought it'd be at a Xbox showcase.
Right? Like it
That's
came
an
out on the
Xbox.
Xbox.
That,
Yeah.
I was talking to people online, and it's like if they announce a Metal Gear Solid remake and they did it for Xbox only, it's crazy. That I even though I said I would still play it on Xbox, I don't care. I have an Xbox, but
Mhm.
this is crazy to lock down this once exclusive Xbox game, and a really good one, because I have heard nothing but praise for this
Yeah.
entry.
Not a single bad review about this game at all. Like it was on the top. It takes place, I believe, thousands of years before anything happens in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, great story, great villains, great characters. It's a turn-based RPG made by BioWare, I believe.
Yes, it was.
So
It was Bioware. I think they might. I think they might do the final. I mean, I'm saying I don't have any proof, but they might do the Final Fantasy VII round. They might change like from turn-based. They might do a turn-based slash action if you want to. I think so. I think that's the trend things are going to.
yeah, I mean, for me, I have no connection to the original one, so I
Mhm.
can't really say. But all I can say is that, um, I like remakes and remasters for me, I've always been open to them because a lot of the times we don't get to play the games when they release, and sometimes they're buggy or they're kind of antiquated by the time we do have time to play them.
Right.
The biggest example for me is that I skipped out on the entire Mass Effect trilogy, and
Oh.
I was about to play it last year, but people kept telling me, like, hey, there's rumors that it's gonna get remade. It's gonna get remade, and it got a remaster. And
Yeah.
I played through Mass Effect 1 for an entire week and completed it. Then I went to Mass Effect 2 the next month, completed it. I'm in the middle of Mass Effect 3, and yeah, it's modern for me. It's a modern gameplay, so I think they are gonna tweak the gameplay. I don't think it's gonna be a turn-based RPG. I think, like you said, I think they're gonna tweak it like FF7, where it's an action RPG, which I'd be more than happy with it. I don't, but that's speaking from somebody who doesn't have a connection to the original one.
Okay. That's just the trend I think everything's going to. So no, it wouldn't be a bad thing. But if they want to keep it just turn based, then that'd be cool too. Bring back some old school status if they wanted to.
Yeah, and another game that they showed off, which was it just has, I guess, a name placeholder right now, is Project Eve. It's like this hack and slash game with like aliens and space, and this chick that had some how do you say, some weird angles for the camera, showing some action.
Of course. You gotta have the camera at the best angle, man. Of course.
I thought it was a platinum game. I thought it was gonna be a
Right?
platinum game because it just had that. It screamed that.
Bayonetta, is that you? is that you? Like Cyberpunk Bayonetta? Is that you? Like, I think that's what it could have been. Yeah, I definitely got the same feelings as you. Hack and slash, it's similar to Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, but sometimes it's like, to me right now, it's being a little bit like too similar to Bayonetta and Devil May Cry. It's really hard to break into that genre since those games came out.
Yeah, it is. Because those are like the main games that everybody looks up. Like if you get compared to that, it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing.
Yeah, and like I was okay by the trailer. Like, okay, it's flashy, it's nice, like cyborg aliens like looking villains, and then I did like the scene when she was skating down the hallway though. That was cool. When she was grinding down like it was like a long cylinder hallway. I did love that. That was a legit part of the trailer. But for me, unless I see something else different that is spectacular about it, I look at it. It looks nice. It's all right. At least I think.
Another game that I thought looked nice. It kind of looks rough around the edges still. I don't think it's gonna come out when it's scheduled, which is Forspoken. Do you remember this one?
Right. Yes, I do. That was the one where it was like the woman from the big city, and she's looking for the big city, trying to like move out, but then she gets transported by a bracelet, like a type of like non-Earth type land. At least that's what they say. It's not really Earth. It kind of is Earth. And it was like a big old like fish out of water story, and it's kind of reminding me, like, it doesn't have all the 10 rings or something, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Shang-Chi with like a bracelet, like rings that are giving her the power.
Okay.
So
I like the traversal. I like the movement. The combat looks a little bit finicky, and maybe better lip sync for what they were trying to do. But like I said, it doesn't look like it'll be ready by spring. Maybe we saw a really early build. I don't know, but it's giving me that Final Fantasy 15 open world kind of look, but with a good traversal. I like the movement so far.
And I did like how she got transported into the world, and she's still dressing up like in her flannel outfit, and she's hanging out with some of the characters like in her flannel outfit, but then she has like the more badass outfit when she's actually transversing and knows her powers. So that was a good thing. about that one. I did like the Forspoken, and I actually really enjoyed the one that was right before that, Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Oh yeah, that one.
That the Gearbox, that was a Gearbox game, which I just found out is a Borderlands spin-off. These are some characters from Borderlands. Spoiler alert, I did not play many Borderland games myself, or a Borderland game. I have it on my PlayStation, but the idea of the freaking cell shaded again, like that cell shaded type graphics looks so good. And it's dragons and skeletons and awesome art and a rocket launcher and guns and shotguns. And,
A maid with a rocket launcher.
yeah, it was so good. And it had Baby Metal, a metal band from the background music. It's like, for those who don't know who Baby Metal is, it's a actually right now it's two Japanese girls who sing with a metal band. It's a metal band called Baby Metal. They were playing the background music. The song is called "Give Me Chocolate."
Okay.
But it got me everything. I would recommend you just to check out that song one time. "Give Me Chocolate." That's the song I was playing, and I love the D&D aspect of it. Like they were rolling the dice to see what would happen and stuff. I really like that one. That one kind of it took me off the gritty realism for a moment, and it brought in some fun.
Man, you got to play some Borderlands 2 then, because
I know
that's where she came from. That's where Tiny Tina came from, and it's my favorite Borderlands. I didn't really like the first one. I was like whatever with it, but the second one is really good, especially co-op. And then they have a mission with her and extra DLC that I think you would really like it. It's really good. It is one of those games that it is better with friends. Legitimately,
Okay.
It's okay as a single player, but drop out co-op. I think it has 4-player split screen on PS4, and
Nice.
then online co-op with PC. So I would definitely, if you really got interested in the Tiny Tina. What is it? Wonderlands. I would definitely
Tiny
recommend.
Tina's Wonderland. So is it part of the Handsome collection?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay.
Number 2 is on
Good.
there.
Yes. Okay. Good. Because that's the one. And so Borderlands, the pre sequel is not Borderlands 1. Borderlands 1 is another game altogether, right?
Yeah, that they sold that one separately.
Why did they do that? If it's a Handsome collection, they should put all 3 of them in there.
Money.
Of course. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I forgot about that. So, I forgot. Money. So yeah, that one intrigued me, and then right after that, after Forspoken, they put Rainbow Six Extraction, which I kind of felt it was Rainbow Six's answer to Call of Duty Zombies. They just use aliens instead.
I was like meh. Meh.
They missed me on that. It's just Rainbow Six trying to incorporate something new, but they can't use zombies because obviously Call of Duty has a zombie market. So aliens. That'll be what we need to do. Aliens. So yeah, same here. I was meh on that one.
I was excited about the next one though. Alan Wake remastered.
Oh man, again a name that I hear a whole lot. But I didn't play it originally. It came out on PS3 before, correct?
No.
Or was it an Xbox before?
It was a Xbox 360 exclusive.
Was it an Xbox?
It is on PC, but on console, it was a Xbox exclusive. And I did play this one actually. I played this one last year. I played about maybe 2 to 3 hours of it, just to see where it was at. But again, I only played it because I was getting into Control. And they're like in the same universe, but it was kind of outdated. The performance is a bit outdated. It's hard to go back to 30 frames when you've been playing 60.
Right.
So
60 plus.
yeah, for the PC players.
Can't go back. No, some PlayStation games have 122, but yeah, once you're 160 right now is the base standard. You gotta play it at 60.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this one. I from what I played, it was really good. So if you like those, sci-fi, how do you say it? Not horror. It's not really horror.
Suspense.
Suspense, thriller,
Suspense.
X-Files type of thing. I think this is around everybody's alley, and it comes out October 5th which is
Halloween time, baby.
Yeah, Halloween time.
Yep, most definitely. And I like the trailer itself too. It's another remake of a classic again. Again, like I mentioned, never really played it myself, but I've heard of it. The suspense, fish out of water story again. Finding your, at least from what I got of it, he's trying to find his wife in a world of like possession and like horror elements. Does that sound about right?
Yeah,
Like things go out?
in the trailer, something he says like, "Oh, I thought I was gone for a day, but I missed a week." So
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of weird. It's very interesting. I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of those that a lot of people, especially on PlayStation, is going to be a huge hit. The only thing I don't like is that it's digital only. I like buying physical games.
Really?
Yeah.
Only digital? Why?
I don't know, but that's what I've seen. That's what I've heard. It's only digital for now. Who knows if we'll get a physical release? But
Limited run games, let's go.
for reals.
You can do it, limited run games. Okay, we already had our discussion about GTA 5. Basically, if you've lived under a rock and never played it, play it. All right, here's my only thing I'll say about GTA 5. I swear I will not go long into that again. If you've never played it, okay, get it. If you've never touched it, fine. If you have it already on another system, don't bother. It's fine. You don't need it again.
Yeah. What was the next one? Next one would be Ghostwire Tokyo, the trailer. By
And what was that? What was the company of that one again?
Ghostwire Tokyo, the game.
Yeah.
You know what? Who is it?
Yeah.
It's Tango Gameworks, the guys who did The Evil Within.
Oh, okay. So the thing I liked about this one, the sci-fi horror with it had like a lot of Slender Man looking characters in there.
Yeah.
As like villains. It was like a lot of Slender Man, and then it's kind of a love story in there because I think there's things involved with either that's his wife or his girlfriend or it could be a family member, and the main guy that's there, I don't know if that's a villain or if that's like a mentor that or something that gave him his powers. Like I remember like he got stabbed by him and then now he has like telekinetic elements and like robotic elements thrown in there. It looks cool and I actually do like that like Tokyo Ghoul type like horror looking things.
Oh well, you caught more than I did. I didn't know what was going on. I just saw some, ninjutsu hand movements and fireballs coming out.
So that's at least what I got from it. It looked interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have no interest so far from what I was shown. I don't know much about it. It's harder for me, and I'll say this: it's harder for me to get into a first person shooter or a first person perspective. But it does look interesting. It doesn't look. I haven't really seen anything like that in any game to compare. So that's really good for a game like this, a new IP.
There we go. So PlayStation branching out into new ones there, and then after that, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
What'd you think of it?
I think it will do better than the Avengers did, I hope. That's what I'm thinking because they're going to stick to like a particular group of heroes instead of trying to go for like a whole bunch at one time. I just really wish they can use the likeness of the actors, but I know they can't because of financial reasons and how much it's going to cost to get Chris Pratt to come in and do like motion capture and all that. I know it's going to cost a ton of money, but they're always trying to do the new thing, and I think you're going to get a bigger audience if you spend a little bit of money and get the actual actors. But they're trying to do it again with like they're trying to do it again with reskinning and redoing the characters in a new image. But I actually think it's going to be better than at least have a less rockier start than Marvel's The Avengers. And the other reason I think of that is because, at least from what I've seen, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be mostly sticking to the Guardians of the Galaxy and not, at least from the Avengers, correct me if I'm wrong, did it have it where you were also playing like a new character, a new face as part of the Avengers, something like that?
Well, with the Avengers, you were able to swap out characters, so you can play as Hulk, Thor, Captain America.
Okay, but did it have like a character where they're all around this new hero, but then that new hero is like you, like a custom hero, something like that.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't have nothing like that. Oh, okay. Well, if they learned anything from Marvel's The Avengers, we'll see. Because Guardians of the Galaxy is giving me the Marvel vibe. I just think it'll be a little better. What do you think of it?
I think it's gonna definitely be better than Avengers. Avengers is I think they try to do too much with it, with the IP. They try to add, a lot of characters, but they try to shoehorn in this like games as a service like Destiny, but they never want to admit to it. So they're kind of stuck in that middle ground. But I mean, you see it, you play it, it's a game as a service. You're trying to do a raid. There's even a raid. There's raids. There's weekly challenges, daily challenges. Working together.
Marvel's Destiny.
It pretty much is, and then there's armor sets and I guess armor items, like depending on the character that you're playing as, and you can't really see it on your character, but it gives you like the stat boost that you're like, okay, I guess. So
All right.
it's weird, but I'm definitely thinking that it's going to be better. It's the only thing that I think is going to be a miss. I don't know yet. I haven't played it, but you only play as Star-Lord. You only play as Peter in the game.
Really?
You
only as Peter Quill the whole time. No
You don't
Groot,
switch,
no
yeah.
Drax,
You
no
don't-
Rocket Raccoon.
You don't
Wow.
switch at all. So that's the only thing that I'm kind of like, I don't know how that's gonna work, or how they're gonna do combat. With games like this, you're kind of like, ooh, I want to play as Gamora, I want to play as Groot, or somebody, and it's just gonna be Star-Lord. So we'll see how it goes. It seems like gameplay is gonna be just restricted to him.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe you can do like some tag team. Maybe I don't know what you fill up a meter and you can do a combo with another Guardian. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know, but they showed off that one. I think it's gonna be okay.
Okay. Only time will tell. Let's see how they do with that one, then.
Blood Hunt was the next one.
Yeah, the Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. It is a cool looking like action game with it has like different vampire teams. I remember like Nosferatu was one of the teams.
Bruja.
I felt it. Yeah, it kind of felt like a Destiny vampire version.
Yeah, in a way.
But I know Masquerade the Bloodlines is also a Vampire the Masquerade the Masquerade, because there was like Masquerade Bloodlines. There was a classic PC game that was really good back then in regards to vampires. But yeah, another one I was like, oh, it looks cool. I mean, I did like the motion where you can bite right there, and it had the button input.
Yeah,
so
that was
you
pretty
have to
cool.
I like that. That was a legit part. The game after that one was the one that actually got me a little bit more. Oh, I'm sorry, unless you had something else to say about the vampire game.
No, I'm good. It looks cool. It looks interesting. Need to see more though.
Yep. The one after that, the narrator was the coolest part about this one, but I did like it. I did like Deathloop.
Okay.
It was like a man stuck. I know it's another first-person shooter, but I did like the environmental help you got from a lot of areas. Like I remember he shot like the gumball machine or something, and the enemy actually like tripped up in front of it.
I did like that. I thought that was pretty
sweet.
cool.
That was a really sweet spot. So it looks like to me like a man is stuck in the same day, and he's trying to escape and figure out what happened to him. So I guess he has to kill all the villains that are there within the same day.
Yeah.
So it gave me some Majora's Mask feels of like a time limit. Like instead of 3 days, it's a single day. But maybe you'll have something where like you kill and then you have to go back, or do you have to kill them all in one day? Like I don't know. It was just something that I know it's another first-person shooter. It's like the genre that's dominating every console in every area right now. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I would definitely check that out.
I like the idea of it. I think I've just been so tired of Deathloop because it's just been shown off so much. It's the game
Really?
that, it's the it came up and I'm like, okay, it's Deathloop. Like I already knew the style and I guess the gameplay as well. I did like the what you mentioned about the him shooting off the gumball and the guy running and slipping on it.
Yeah.
Good physics, good interaction with the environment on what's going on. But I just need to see more. Like I know we've seen like so many of it, but I just really don't know in terms of how does the gameplay look like. What's the first 30 minutes of this game and how it goes about in a way. So there's like you said, there's 8 people the 8 targets. But if I don't know if you know this, but there can also be somebody who jumps into your game to try to kill you.
Oh no, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's the gameplay also added. I don't know how to say it, but pretty much you have the targets, you have the 8 targets, and you're setting up your plan. But there's another assassin there only specifically to kill you, and it's another person, it's another player.
Throw the challenge right in there. That's awesome. That's good. I love that.
The next one, which was I don't know how you pronounce it, Chia.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to correct you here because I don't know how to pronounce that either. I'm gonna say it the same way, but Tachia. But this is definitely the ultimate kid game here.
Yeah.
This is Wind Waker. A lot of it looked like Wind Waker to me.
Wind Waker meets Super Mario Odyssey.
Right, like animal possession.
That's a good thing. That's a good comparison because it again that art style, that cell shaded look, kind of, and just being able to seamlessly go into another animal's body and take control. And I can see a lot of adventures that they showed. They showed everything. They showed sky, they showed land, and then they also showed water, the ocean. Being a turtle and swimming through underwater caves and stuff like that. It looks really cool. I like what they showed off.
What a breath of fresh air from shooting and stabbing and killing and all that stuff. Like it just threw me off in the loop. I was like, oh man, like it was the reason I said Wind Waker was besides like the sailing, it actually had her floating down. I think it was a blanket, but it reminds you of the Deku Leaf. Yeah. Like going down, floating gently. And there's just, I'm pretty sure there's a whole awesome story. But hey, man, this is one that all the kids and everyone can enjoy. It looked awesome to me. I loved it.
And like you said, it was different. We had just come off from Blood Hunt and Deathloop, and then we just see this awesome looking, bright, colorful game, and it looks like one of those games that doesn't require a death screen. Like, oh, you lost, or oh, try again. It's one of those like you just explore, you just take control of a seagull, of a turtle.
Just fly, fly, baby. Yeah, I liked it. It was really interesting to see that one. Like nieces and nephew can play that one, and I think it'll look good. So let's hope it plays as good as it looks.
And then like a real I guess snippet of what they were announcing was that they're gonna put a Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection, and it's coming to PS5 and PC.
There you go. So they're including everything. So not just 4, it's all of them.
No. From what this is only for Uncharted 4 and the not Golden Abyss. That's the PS Vita rip. It's Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there was the Uncharted 4, like the Uncharted trailer, which nice. Hey, that's a game that needed another. Well, this isn't a remaster. They're just porting it over, right?
Yeah, they're porting it over to PS5 and PC. First time Uncharted is on PC. It's kind of weird. I thought they would have put the collection 1 through 3 on PC, but they're going with this route on putting Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy first, which is weird. I thought they would try to put the first 2 or the first 3 on PC, but we'll see if those go to it. But yeah, a new PS5. I highly doubt that they're gonna give us a free update. This is gonna be most likely a charge for the PS5 version. But
We lost that chance already, man. That's over. after the whole Horizon Zero Dawn issue, they ain't gonna free update anymore. They'll be like, nope, we're gonna lay it clear on paper. No more free updates.
And you know what? After this announcement,
The big baddies came out right now.
Sony just came out. You want to go with the first one?
Yes! Oh, the big baddies here. Tell me, what character do you think of all Marvel besides Spider-Man? Who do you think is more Who's just as popular as Spider-Man?
It has to be Wolverine.
Wolverine game from the same people who did the Spider-Man games, and we love the Spider-Man games. So the same guys are doing it, and this wasn't even a gameplay trailer or nothing. This was just him sitting at a bar getting ready to fight, and everyone lost their mind with just that.
Yeah, it's crazy that I thought we weren't gonna hear from Insomniac for a long time. I thought, okay, you know, they did Miles Morales, they did the remaster of Spider-Man on PS4, they released Ratchet and Clank, and everybody's like, you know what, Insomniac has been pulling weight on the PS5. They're, you know, Sony's powerhouse right now. Let them
right now.
Let them go away. We probably won't hear from them for a couple more years. And they came out, hey, you know what? We're not gone. We haven't stopped working. Here's what we're working on next. And although it was a CGI trailer, I feel like this one was more of a flex from Insomniac. It was, especially since we're going to talk about their next announcement, but it was more of a flex, like, hey, they could have really waited, but this was more like, hey, this is what you can look forward to. We're going to go quiet, we're going to go dark after this, but all we needed to see were the claws, and they showed it, and it got me hyped, it got me excited. I was completely surprised, caught off guard. Like, I thought they were just going to go, oh, you know what, their next big game is going to be, you know, Spider-Man 2, which we'll talk about, but I think that's going to be their new game. No, they're working on Wolverine.
Dude, he is... I'm being honest about when I was asking before. Besides Spider-Man, I feel like Spider-Man's the most popular Marvel character, but then next, Spider-Man's the most popular Marvel character overall, but next is, like, Wolverine, like... Of every, like, all the Marvel vs. Capcom games, Hugh Jackman portraying him in the movies, like, Wolverine is just such a beloved character, and now, obviously, we can't wait until he's introduced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at some point. Whoever the heck is going to bring up that mantle is going to have a big shoe to fill. But Wolverine game just by itself, especially if you saw the last movies, like The Wolverine or Logan, dude, Wolverine is just the man, and Insomniac is gonna treat this one justice, and it's just the cowboy bar grungy vibe was so awesome, and then there's just this guy just sitting there having chilling up at the bar stool, and then another person's coming up to get him, and then he's just clenching his fist, and then the claws come out. I was like, oh, he did. That guy behind him, he did. Like, look out, buddy. But yeah, that one blew up Twitter like nuts.
I don't know if you saw this. Also on Twitter was that they had hints on what was it like in the background of that trailer, and they had like some it had a license plate of, like, I think it said 181 Hulk or something like that. And
I did not see that.
Yeah, and people looked into it, and that's like a comic book issue where it's Hulk versus Wolverine.
Ooh, that was a good cartoon. Yeah. There was a cartoon movie about that. Oh, dude! Now you made me more excited about it. Now the Hulk versus Wolverine. All right, man, you got me exploding mid podcast. That sounds dope as hell.
Like, just imagine what they've done already. What Insomniac has done with Spider-Man. With Spider-Man, they had like 6-7 villains in one game, and it felt good. It didn't feel like
crammed or nothing.
Exactly. It felt cohesive. It felt like it worked, and only Insomniac, I feel, can do this. Besides, of course, Rocksteady, the people at Rocksteady doing, you know, the Batman Arkham games, which
those were also good.
Spider-Man was heavily inspired by those games, but I mean, to think about, okay, Wolverine, who's the villain, who's gonna be the surprise people that come in, and I'm hoping they bring in Hulk, they bring
That would be legit.
some type of character like that where you gotta fight them or whatever it is. And another thing, what I'm hoping for is, and I know this, everybody's trying to push this on their own stuff, but I hope that Insomniac starts a Marvel universe within their side. Like, who's to say that at the end that you finish Wolverine and there's a snippet of Spider-Man coming in for something?
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all.
So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for all this, but the one that really kicked it off for me, the one that made this over the top, was Spider-Man 2. The announcement that Spider-Man 2, and this was actually not CGI. They actually showed it was in engine, so it not CGI, not pre-rendered, but this showing a Spider-Man and a Miles Morales that are already working together very cohesively. You can tell in the trailer that they're just working together in tandem. And I'm liking Spider-Man's new suit. It's the same one, but it's now red as opposed to it looks kind of red orange suit. But the biggest surprise, apart from Insomniac announcing that they're working on Wolverine, but that now they're working on Spider-Man 2 as well, and it's scheduled for 2023, is that Venom is in it.
Dude, Venom in the background was nuts. Like, Venom was the best thing that came into it. Like, and he is voiced by Tony Todd. He's the Candyman. The Candyman. That people are already saying like best Venom voice ever for this. So like, we're ready. Oh my, that was so good. And a lot of people are speculating that the narrator of that whole thing, speculation again, not confirming, is Kraven the Hunter asking for the ultimate challenge. He sounds like he would be the one that would ask for the ultimate challenge. Yeah. In regards to like a villain. Because Kraven always wants the thrill of the hunt more of anything else. But now with Venom thrown in there, oh my god. Venom, like, dude, Marvel, the Spider-Man series, they just went deep into it, and they just went to Venom right now. Like, they're all like, no, we're not going to do a 3. We're going to get Venom now. We're going to put him in at this moment.
Dude, this is like, I've been saying it too, that this is the best time to be a Spider-Man fan for everything that's going on. Before, we really had, Spider-Man 2. And both the film and the game were unrivaled. Nothing had beat them for a long time, and then we started getting I really am not a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man films as much, but in terms of Into the Spider-Verse, amazing Spider-Man film,
great movie right there, absolutely. Peter B. Parker. I love that. I love that guy.
Then with the new Marvel, the multiverse, what that's bringing, but now with Insomniac doing Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and now Spider-Man 2 with Venom, the character is just being treated with so much respect.
Absolutely.
And Insomniac, they, hats off to them. They're probably, I will say right now, the best studio PlayStation has right now.
Insomniac games,
in terms of quantity and quality that they've been dishing out, nobody has been able to catch up to them. So props to Insomniac. They got me hyped for Wolverine, but they got me even more hyped for Spider-Man 2. It's confirmed it's single player only. Nice. It's not co-op, which a lot of people thought it would be because Miles and Spider-Man, but it's a single player game. That does not affect me at all. I that's fine with me. But Venom, possible Kraven the Hunter, hopeful,
maybe we'll see. That's real
with Carnage. So I'm really happy with that announcement, and that it's going to be 2023. So about a year and a half.
Year and a half. They need some time to bake that one. I think Wolverine's going to come out. Do you think Wolverine will come out before that, or do you think it's going to come out after that?
No, Wolverine won't come out until I'll say it right here, 2024.
Okay, so a little bit more time for Wolverine.
Yeah,
Okay.
way more time because they didn't even give out a release date for that one. That one's just a
Sure.
Wolverine title card. But they did
Right.
say Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to come out 2023, which
2023.
leads me to the next one, which would be God of War Ragnarok that they
Yep.
showed off. They ended
Of
off
course.
with that, but before that, I'm missing one. They showed off Gran Turismo 7.
Aha! See, I told you they show that. I told you.
Yeah, they showed off Gran Turismo 7.
You know what? I do like it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna own it myself, but this is the car person's game. Like, if you really love cars, if you want the car simulator dream game, so much customization, so much detail, so many locations. You could spend hours in here developing your cars, the parts, your decal. But the only thing that I really did not like, at least what I heard recently on the news and on Twitter, is that Gran Turismo might have to be DRM. You have to have a constant internet connection to play single player.
From what I heard, it's confirmed that it's gonna
That-
need online. It's gonna be online only.
That is the worst decision. That
Yeah.
is stupid. Did they not learn from Xbox One 2013 release? That was horrible.
I don't understand why the need for online. Like, if you just want to play offline and just play random arcade races or tune up your
Right?
car, you don't need to be online to tune up your car. You don't need to be online to do majority of the stuff unless you want to play with somebody else.
This game is about to have a huge stutter step because that's what messed up Diablo 3 in the beginning when they asked to be online only. A sim game they asked to be online only. Do you remember that backlash
Yeah, I
that
remember.
that Microsoft had when they announced that? And it was like I remember Sony press conference so bad. Here's how you play games with your friend, and he would give him a game in front of him. Here you go. This is how you. Oh my God! Sony just dropped the burn on Xbox that year. That was horrible. that was really bad. But dude, that is a huge mistake. They better. I hope they recant this. I hope they change it back. That would be a big mistake if they keep this going.
Yeah, that
But again-
that was scheduled for March 4th. That one actually has a date.
But again, car aficionados dream game. I know there are those people that like to play like farm simulator, flight simulator, a lot of simulator games. So this is car simulator at its fine, and everything looks gorgeous in this game. Everything looks so fantastic. So like, no wrong if that's what you're into. Like, just go for it. You're golden if you love that.
Yeah, it's not one that I go for. I never played a Gran Turismo game really.
It's a lot of hours.
That's a lie. I played probably PS1, PS2, but I did not like the feel of like the realism. That's cool. That's cool with anybody else, but for me, I was nah. I'd rather play Need for Speed Underground or something.
There you go.
But
Cruising USA, baby.
for me, modern modern racing, I give it to Forza. I prefer Forza
Ooh,
Motorsport.
yeah, that's nice too.
That's my go-to like realistic racing game or sim.
There we go. And then, last but not least, again, like we said before, the big baddie, God of War Ragnarok.
So there was a couple things that I noticed on this one that, well, one thing in particular is that the original director isn't directing this one. The guy who did God of War 2018, Corey, he's not going to be the director, which is actually in tandem with what they've always done. There's always been a new director for God of War, so different director between God of War 1, the original one, and 2, and 3, and so forth. I think Corey was the only one that was a repeat director.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a new director on this one, so we'll see how this one goes with the new direction and stuff like that. From what I saw, I like it. I'm already sold. I want to see the continuation of the story. I want to see Loki's adventure. I want to see where all the new gods are that they're showing with this Norse mythology side. What do you think
Mhm.
of it? Would you like
Oh
or would
man,
you
what
what
I
were
what
you?
I really did like the story going back and forth between um, Kratos and his son, where Kratos was constantly saying like war is not the answer. It was so strange seeing Kratos be the voice of reason when the best God of War that I like is 3 still. That's still my favorite that I
Yes.
completed left, and I completed the first one, skipped 2, played the heck out of 3, PlayStation 4 remaster, and in that game it's like it's like God of War 3, it's Kratos on
So much
the most
rage.
anger. It was all rage to the gods and everything. And in this one, I see that his son is becoming more of he's starting to get a little rage, but then Kratos from his past experiences are telling him like, no, you don't have to do it like that, and it just feels so
Boy.
weird, boy. Like it just feels weird hearing him like be like the father figure, knowing knowing what you've learned from him from God of War 3. Of course, if you didn't finish the other God of War, then you'd see why he becomes the way he is now. Um, but I did love the father and son dynamic, which was also great in the 2018 one as well. Question: did the Blades of Chaos come back in the last game, or is this the first game they're being introduced?
The Blades of Chaos were introduced in the last game.
Okay, good. Because I don't want to say it. I don't want to say this is the first time because I haven't even finished the other game. I started it, but I love the Blades of Chaos again. So thank goodness it's in the other one. So that means I can complete it on PS4. Um, but the Blades of Chaos again continue their reign along with his axe and everything. I did like that talking head character that he's then ends up carrying around with him in his adventure. And apparently, Fat Thor is the real Thor.
Yes.
Apparently, that's real. So the Marvel one was false, and then they corrected him in Endgame, and then when you see the body type of Thor, it's like, oh, so this is what Thor was supposed to look like.
Well, Marvel got half of it right. The on the second portion of Endgame, they got that right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There
half
you
of it.
go.
He's supposed to have red hair, but yeah, apparently Thor, Norse mythology accuracy. Thor is supposed to be this big brute, fat, red-headed
Wow.
guy that just acts so childish. So
Wow.
that's where they're
Okay.
going for. It's he's being voiced by. I don't know if you remember or if you ever saw the movie. Remember the Titans.
I did, but I'm not gonna say I remember all the actors from it.
Okay. Okay. Well, one of the high school players. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, I think his name's Ryan. Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Hurst. Yeah, Ryan Hurst.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one voicing Thor. So if you ever saw Sons of Anarchy and you saw Opie, that's Ryan Hurst. Or if you saw Remember the Titans, the football player that gets injured and gets struck by the truck or is sent to the
Okay.
hospital. He's voicing Thor, which I love his acting. So I'm really excited to see Thor
Nice.
versus Kratos. That's gonna be
Thor.
a good one.
That's gonna be the battle of battles right there. Okay. So I just looked him up. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a while, but his IMDb page already has him already has his PlayStation stuff right next to it. So yep, there's no surprise anymore. He's gonna be in God of War. Uh, he's no, he's up and in there. So I'm excited. I liked it. You know what? And I will say this right now. I'll say it for the podcast. Uh, this will be another system seller for me. I will get a PS5 because of this game.
Okay. Remember
So God of
this
War.
one is supposed to come out on PS4 as well. But
Oh,
of course it's
dude.
gonna be way way better on PS5.
I'm sorry. PS4 is dying right now. They to kind of break it down from like an article I read earlier. PS4 is it's on its final. I think God of War is going to be the final game that's going to be super cross PlayStation gen anymore because right now they've only announced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the games now are are only going to be for PS4 and PS5. The rest are all PS5. So 7 of all the trailers that we just talked about are going to have that back and forth, but they're weaning it. Next PlayStation showcase, I bet you no PS4 games.
Yeah, because they confirmed Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Those
Yep.
are PS5s only, and I believe the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is PS5 only as well, right?
At least from when you said earlier, it was like PS5 and possibly PC, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no PS4. It's on his last ship wagons. It's on his last wagons right now.
Yeah.
It's
Well, What would
it's,
you give it? What would you give the showcase?
Oh no, this showcase was for all the games that it showed. It was just superb on so many different games that were out there. Sony is kicking butt in this showcase.
Yeah.
They fired off on all cylinders.
I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
There we go.
Just for Wolverine, God of War, Spider-Man 2, and Knights of the Old Republic. Those were like the big pieces for me that I took away from it.
There we go. Okay, I'll switch mine to numbers. I'll be in the same boat then. 9 out of 10. Like maybe not like perfect, but 9. That's still an A. That's 90%. That's still an A. And yeah, so just a couple of them were like miss, but a majority of it, boom. Like it's fire. Like Sony PS5 is gonna be on an up and up coming up soon. I'm saying it right now. It's Xbox. You gotta bring it up. Not saying there's no good Xbox games, but Xbox gotta bring it up. Besides like Game Pass, you gotta level up on them exclusives.
So yeah, that was the PlayStation Showcase. A lot of good reveals, a lot of good announcements, and showcases of games that we've already known that were coming in. Favorite, mine was Spider-Man 2. I'm pretty sure yours was most likely Wolverine.
Wolverine, most definitely, but Tiny Tina's Wonderland also gets a thumbs up on me too.
Okay.
I'll put that one on the thumbs up. And the Knights of the Old Republic is because I haven't played yet, so I'm excited for Star Wars, but I haven't played the original one yet, so I don't have a memory of that game just yet. But the Tiny Tina's Wonderland was one that I really enjoyed a whole lot. But of course, Wolverine was just a boom explosion. That was the best. That was a legit one. And then God of War, we already knew God of War was going to be good, so that was just like basically just confirming what we knew.
Yeah.
That was more of like confirmation. So before we head off for today, what do you? Let's go over some quick PS1 games that we love since the PlayStation 1 started. Man, what was your favorite PS1 game of all time?
Well, besides the obvious Metal Gear Solid 1, that's I think will always be my favorite PS1 game. The one that I actually really spent a lot of time with was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, specifically.
Nice. Tony Hawk was the man.
That one had the soundtrack. That one had gameplay. I felt like a real skater. You know, the graphics at the time, they'll never be more real than this.
We always say that every year that goes by, it's never gonna be more real than this. We thought Super Mario 64 was a pinnacle at the time, but nope.
But yeah, besides the Metal Gear Solid, that's always gonna be top. But yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I spent a lot of hours just playing that, listening to the soundtrack. What was it? Superman, and all this other stuff. With the game in terms of the gameplay, the people that they had available, the challenges, trying to find Skate, trying to find the hidden videotape, all that stuff. I loved those challenges. I loved finding the secret tape and all the stuff that went with Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. That's probably the one that I spent the most time on, along with other classics like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I always have I always have to add that one. Final Fantasy VII, Tactics, for RPGs. Those were my favorites, and And of course, the port of Chrono Trigger. I love Chrono Trigger. It's not the best version, but it's Chrono Trigger. And and the last one I have to mention is The Legend of Dragoon. It's an RPG, JRPG made by PlayStation. It's a PlayStation IP that we have not seen anything of since release.
People were asking for that one too. They wanted to see something like that in the showcase. They didn't, but they wanted that, at least from what I've seen on Twitter.
I'm that person who's asking for it too. It's been 22 years, 23 years since the last one. So those are my favorite, list of PS1 games. Yours?
Yeah. I personally never owned a PlayStation myself. I jumped on the Nintendo 64 wagon at that time because it was either one of those two. If you had to get just one system, it was N64 or it was the PlayStation. But I had a neighbor that had the PlayStation, and I would always go over to their house and we would play PlayStation. I remember in the living room TV, we had the PlayStation with all the CDs in the front. Metal Gear is definitely a top one there, not the one I spent the most time with. I actually spent the most time with that one on PC later. I had the PC version. But Metal Gear was lovely as always. It's still a top game there. The Tekken series of Tekken 1, 2, and 3 was just superb of fighting games at the time. I even played the PlayStation version of Doom at the time, which it had its own special levels and music different from any PC release. And as well as there was a shooting game called Area 51. It was like zombies at Area 51 or aliens, and we had a light gun, and one person always had to be the controller. So one person had to have the Corsair and the crosshairs, and the other person actually got to shoot the gun. But as far as like for PlayStation, my favorite game of all time that I spent the most time with is Resident Evil 1.
Oh, the first one.
The first one. We had the original one with the original music. We had the big box with the weird looking soldier in front.
Yeah.
The thing that I loved about PlayStation back then was how much closer it was to the arcades compared to the N64 at the time. The only thing that was bad about the PlayStation was the horrendous loading time. That was the worst part of the PlayStation.
That's loading when we started seeing those.
Yeah, that's when loading was a horrible screen. I did also love Crash Bandicoot as a platformer as well, but Resident Evil 1, when I first got immersed into that game and into the zombies, and when the dog first pops out from the window, that was my introduction to survival horror as a game and tank controls. It was weird having tank controls, but everything from the music to the story to the super as cheesy movie-like entrance with the B-list horrible actors that they used for it. But hey, I saw real people in the video game, and that was far-fetched back then. Like that was far-fetched that a video game can have real people, real movies, but that was like the power of CD technology. They have more space to be able to put it in. So Resident Evil 1 is the hands down favorite PS1 game for the era. I never owned it. I always went to the neighbor's house, but we always popped that into the console every time we were there to see how much further we can get. How much further? How are we not going to get eaten by the shark again? How are we not going to get smacked around by the plant again? How the heck are we going to survive the tyrant? Resident Evil 1, it cemented my liking of the Resident Evil series since. And when I got the sequel, I actually ended up buying it on Nintendo 64 because it actually came out on Nintendo 64 as well. But Resident Evil 1 got everything started for me, and it'll always have a place in my heart. I know it's not a PS exclusive now. Now it's everywhere. I played it on the DS, the Deadly Silence we talked about before.
I love that.
So I played that one too, and that was a great way to play it as well. But the original Resident Evil is always going to have my heart for PS1.
And just like you mentioned too, a quick snippet, how we hated the new load screen, the loading times. that they did something really cool with that game, which was the loading screens were hidden behind the doors.
Yes!
Literally behind the doors, because whenever you would leave the room and go to a new room, it would go into first person mode, and it
Yep.
was kind of like you're opening the door, and it was slow, but it worked for the game because it was horror. It was like, and it's
And
like you didn't know there was a loading screen.
Nope.
That was the loading screen. So instead of reading loading, it was literally a door animation, and it works so well because you're like, I don't know what's next. I don't know what's behind this door.
Yep.
I'm gonna go through. Like, it was so good. It was so innovative to a time where they were barely learning this stuff. They were barely learning loading screens, and somebody said, Shinji Mikami was like, we gotta add something to this.
Yep.
You know, and they added
Like-
it, and it was great. It was just one of those things where the developers are working around the hardware that they have and the technology, and they use it and add it to the art, which was so good. So good.
Yep.
Ahead of its time.
Oh my goodness! So, and then we're all like excited because it was like it says 1998 on the thing, and they came out in 1996. So 1998, that's on the game. It's like, oh, it's now. Like it's the current, it's the current year, or it's currently going on. And then of course that is the game that spun off into the so many sequels and other great games in the future. But it started with that, and it's one that I will. Again, like I said, I will cherish forever. I will play it again anytime you want me to. I will re-upload it. I will play it again and again. It's timeless.
You're gonna make me want to download it for October, man.
You just get it, man. It's Resident Evil 1. And the thing I didn't like that happened in the future, because Resident Evil 2 was delayed for so long until it got released, because they had to like scrap the game and then they had to redo it again. They released like the director's cut, and they changed so much of the music. That was my only gripe with the director's cut. Besides having like a range mode and giving you like quality of life options, they changed the music, and I don't know why they did that. But like they couldn't just leave it alone. I guess they just had to do it again. But the music from the original, if you can find the original, like when it first
The
came
big
out,
box
that's the
PS1.
best one. Big box PS1, or one with a as long as it doesn't say director's cut. But the original PS1, classic for days, all the time.
Well, Jesse, I've had so much fun talking. Pretty much, this was a PlayStation episode, PlayStation centric.
And maybe some Yu-Gi-Oh in the future, since we had a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, let us know if you guys want more Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I got some memories from the anime and the card games. I love that anime. There was a whole Pokemon versus Yu-Gi-Oh thing back then, but man, I loved all the animes. It was good.
Same here, man. And let us know in the comment section what's your favorite PlayStation game, PlayStation 1 specifically, and then if you guys got hyped for any game in particular during the showcase, or was there a game that you're like, yeah, I need to know more, I need to see more. Let us know in the comment section on anything for PlayStation 1 or the showcase.
Yep. Check it out. Let us know anything. We like to hear all comments. What's the game you love? What's the game you're like, yeah? Maybe you're yeah about some games like us too. You never know.
But I am Josh McQuack306. You can find me on Twitter with that handle. Where can they find you, Jesse?
They can find me. My name again is Jesse Fergoso, and I am at Jesse JESSIE _FRAGOSO. It's my name again, just with an underscore in between.
All right, and that was our 6th episode, and we'll see you guys on the next week.
Peace out, laters, everybody.